Well, thank you so much for joining me today on Backroads Tourist. I'm Jeff, and there are quite a few unusual stories to talk about today in the world of cruising, including a story about a passenger who is definitely a candidate for Idiot Cruiser of the Month. Wait till you hear what he won, too. And as always, a daily dose of Daisy to wrap things up at the end. Well, let me get things rolling by talking dirty. I mean, really dirty. Last month, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention inspected the Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas, and they found numerous hygiene and food safety issues. In fact, they found so many that the Symphony of the Seas just barely got a passing score. The minimum passing score is 85, and the Symphony of the Seas got an 86. Now, this was an anomaly. In the past, Royal Caribbean ships have mostly gotten high scores, with many ships getting perfect or near-perfect scores. But this time was different. Among the many violations that the CDC found were improperly stored food, crew member hygiene issues, including crew members with open wounds touching ice, and the failure to appropriately handle some sickness issues in the ship's Adventure Oceans Kids Club. Now, I really could go into more detail on that, but trust me, you don't want me to. Royal Caribbean has recently submitted a corrective action report to the CDC to address the problematic findings. They reported that corrections occurred immediately with a lot of the problems, and that cleaning, sanitizing, repairs, and staff training were implemented to take care of the food safety and sanitation issues. Cruise ships are usually inspected by the CDC's Vessel Sanitation Program, or VSP, twice a year, unless they sail outside of the U.S. for an extended period of time. The CDC can recommend that a ship not sail if there are public health risks involved. Things like an inability to properly chlorinate drinking water, not being able to keep food within safe temperatures, inadequate facilities for cleaning and sanitizing food equipment, and the inability to properly dispose of solid or liquid waste. You know, things that are very, very important. It's good to know that the CDC VSP is keeping a close eye on things to keep cruisers safe and healthy, and it's also good to know that Symphony of the Seas is taking immediate steps to correct the problems. All right, my friends, you're not going to believe this next story. It's pretty crazy. A cruise ship passenger has been arrested in Sydney, Australia. Now, the story I read didn't give the name of the cruise ship he was on, and I suppose in the long run it really doesn't matter. But it was a cruise that originated in Argentina. The story also uses the word allegedly quite a bit, so I'm going to do likewise. Australian Border Force officials searched this man's cabin and allegedly found 28 individually wrapped parcels that returned a positive result for cocaine when they were tested. The 48-year-old Brazilian man allegedly had 10 kilos hidden in the ceiling cavity of his room. That's just over 22 pounds for those of us who refuse to cave into the metric system. They also found body packing material in the ceiling cavity and in the wardrobe. Now, these items are used by drug couriers to smuggle drugs. When the cops looked at his phone, they allegedly found evidence relating to drug trafficking. He was charged with one count of importing a commercial quantity of a border-controlled drug and one count of possessing a commercial quantity of an unlawfully imported border-controlled drug. So only 2 charges, but unfortunately for him, each offense carries a maximum penalty of life in prison. So again, kudos to Australia for doing a great job, but this makes me wonder how lax security is in Argentina, where the ship sailed from. Daily Dose of Daisy is coming up, and I do want to kind of prepare you for this one. It's a little bit of a downer Daily Dose of Daisy. See, our 16-year-old Chihuahua is showing her age in this clip, all right? Hey, here at the Backroads Tourist Channel, we're inching our way to 9,000 subscribers. Now, compared to a lot of other channels, I know that's not a huge amount, but I look at it as enough of you to just about fill 3 decent-sized cruise ships. Besides, I'd rather have quality than quantity, and based on the support and the kind words you've given me over the years, you're definitely quality. Hey, if you aren't a subscriber yet, I'd like to invite you to join the family by clicking that subscribe button, and please consider giving this video a like too to help get it recommended to others. It only takes a few seconds, and it really means a lot to me. Thanks a lot. Well, let's move on to a more positive story to close things out today. One of the biggest complaints that many people have about cruising is the impact that cruise ships have on the environment. Cruise lines and the cruise industry are taking steps to be more environmentally friendly by doing things like relying more on liquefied natural gas and using advanced waste management and recycling systems. Carnival Corporation is taking another big step by opening up 2 more solar parks in the Caribbean. They're going to be adding renewable energy projects to their Mahogany Bay Cruise Center on Roatan Island and Puerto Maya, Cozumel. Last year, they did the same at the Amber Cove Cruise Center in the Dominican Republic and at 2 cruise terminals in Barcelona. The new project is going to generate enough power to supply over 70% of the energy needed to run the port at Mahogany Bay and enough power to totally run the cruise terminal at Puerto Maya. As a bonus, it's also creating new jobs in those areas. So it's good to see Carnival and other cruise lines and just the cruise industry in general stepping up to the plate and doing something positive when it comes to the environment. So hey, good on them. It's time for your daily dose of Daisy. As I've mentioned before, Daisy is a senior dog. She just celebrated her 16th birthday, and she's had her share of medical problems. In about the last month, her eyesight has deteriorated, and at this point, she's pretty much blind. She will occasionally walk into walls or chairs or our legs, and because of that, she walks more slowly, and my wife and I have had to do some adapting too. We take extra care to watch where we're walking because we know that she can't get out of our way anymore. We've baby-proofed the house a bit, and we carry her places more than we ever have before. We're considering getting her what's called a halo. It's a special sensory device made specifically for blind dogs, but we don't know if she's going to feel comfortable wearing it. We're still pondering that decision. Until then, we're just going to keep on doing what we need to do to make sure our little girl is safe and comfortable. Coming up on the next Backroads Tourist video, I'm going to be talking about casino offers that we've received from Princess Cruise Lines. I have a special email for this channel. It's backroadstourist6@gmail.com, and somebody wrote me a very nice email and asked me if I could elaborate on the Players Club offers that we get a little bit more, and I'm glad to do that. And remember, you can always leave comments in the comments section of these videos too. Oh, and for those of you who also like weird and unusual places, I'm also working on a video about the Vore Buffalo Jump excavation site in Wyoming, so look for that coming up in the not-too-distant future. Hey, thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. I'm Jeff, and I'll see you on the back roads or on a future cruise.